Welcome back to the question paper discussion for the subject Research Methodology and Intellectual Property Rights. I have been discussing the question paper in the year of June-July 2024. Let us inspect the individual questions from each module. First question is 1A. Identify the meaning of research and brief out the objectives and motivation in engineering research, which carries 10 marks. So you are supposed to write the definition of research and you need to mention the objectives and motivation in engineering research. Now, let us see the answers. So the research meaning you are supposed to write, discover new information, validate existing knowledge, or generate the solution. Also, we can talk about more information about there are different discipline-based research such as science, engineering, social science, medicine, etc. Possible draw the simple block diagram. Okay, then objectives also you can mention to solve new and important problem, to apply scientific approach, to develop new theories, to inform decision, policy making, to create innovation, to solve real world problems, to reduce the cost and resource optimization, like that you can mention. And few motivations in engineering research are intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Similarly, some influences, personal motivation, government direction, funding opportunity and employment, technological advancement, contribution of society, sustainability and environmental impact. So these are the important answer for this question. So regarding question number 1B, identify the steps to find the solve worthwhile problem. So that is also quite important, solving the worthwhile problem. So now I'll take you to the answer. Okay. So now you need to mention about the solving the worthwhile problem. Yes. So here you need to mention a few important points regarding finding and solving the worthwhile problem. Okay. You can see the important points and try to highlight the important points, especially a researcher start with research problem stated by supervisor or posted by others that are yet to be found out or resolved. Okay. Now you have to start with researcher has to convince the problem solution to the research community. Different search related to the research problem identification. Okay, those things you have to mention, right? So that is regarding question number 1B. Now, question number 2A, identify the types of engineering research and briefly explain them. You need to explain the types of engineering research. Okay, so you can prepare the checklist of the types of engineering research. Okay, descriptive versus analytical research, applied versus fundamental research, quantitative versus qualitative research, experimental research versus theoretical research. You have to explain individually. Okay, the descriptions are given below. Kindly refer this and you can update the important information. Okay, each and every meaning you are supposed to explain. So now I'll be moving on to another set of questions. Question number 2A, 2B, identify the ethical issue related to authorship and briefly explain them. Okay, what do you mean by ethical issue? Okay, that is most relevant topic nowadays. Okay, so let me scroll down. You need to find out the ethical issues. Okay, what are the ethical issues? Okay, so you have to talk about what is ethics in engineering research in briefly. Okay, importance of ethics to avoid misconduct. There are so many type of misconduct is existing. So how to overcome those misconduct? Okay, talk about environmental responsibility and fairness. Okay, then there are different types of research misconduct such as fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, authorship misconduct, violation in ethical standard, conflicts of interest, misrepresentation, etc. So you may have to brief up individually. So that's all about question number 2B. Now I'm going to discuss about another set. Question number 3A, identify the essence of new and existing knowledge and explain briefly. So that is for module 2. So now I'll be showing you the essence of new and existing knowledge. Okay. You need to talk about like a new and existing knowledge. So innovative approach and emerging trends are comes under new knowledge. Historical background, key theories, framework are comes under existing knowledge. You need to talk about how the new existing knowledge is produced, and what about the importance of existing knowledge. Okay, how to get the existing knowledge. Those things you are supposed to explain, right? Okay. Moving on to question number 3B, identify how research operations are used to narrow down the research result, which carries 10 marks. So let me take you how research operators are used to narrow down the research result. So question number 3B, you need to talk about a different type of bibliographic database. Okay, for to get the result and to narrow down the search result. Okay, importance of bibliographic database and how the search engine will help to identify the research. Okay, that's about question number 3B. Identify the impact of title and keywords on the citation. So that's important question. So let me discuss the important points of impacts of title and citation of the term called research. Okay. Basically, the title and keyword will improve the searchability, clarity, specificity, attractiveness, conciseness. Similarly, if I talk about like a keyword, it will helps to identify the data discoverability in database and relevance of emerging topic and search engine optimization, interdisciplinary reach. These are the things which is happening for like impact of title and keyword. You have to elaborate it. That's all. So keep elaborating this particular point so that you can get the 10 out of 10. At least 1.5 pages you are supposed to maintain. Okay, that you are supposed to take care. So now I'll be talking about identify the acknowledgement and attribution in research process in briefly and explain acknowledgement and attribution. So why acknowledgement is actually providing. So what is the importance of attribution? Okay, we'll have a brief discussion. So regarding the acknowledgement, why it is needed, we'll find it out. So if I talk about like acknowledgement and attribution, why it is needed, okay, like a gratitude for support, because there are different people involved in the research. So we have to convey our gratitude. So because of the supportive work, we could complete the research on time. Assistance received during the research process must be added in the research paper and the research work, and a common contribution to be acknowledged, such as funding sources, technical support. Similarly, intellectual contribution, advice, consultation, feedback, etc. Then administrative and logistical support such as field visit, collection of data. Okay, these are the things you are supposed to mention in your examination. Okay. Even you can mention about like the attributes. Credit to the original ideas or methods or tools is known as attribution. Attributions are done through the citation within the methodology section itself. So wherever you are actually adding the paragraph from others, you are supposed to mention the attributions. Okay, you have to respect other contribution. That's important. So now let us go back to the module 2. Yeah, these are the important questions for module 2. Now I'll be talking about like module 3. Define intellectual property, IP. Explain the major types of IPs. So definition, general definition you are supposed to give. You can give the IP such as like a patent, copyright, geographical indications, industrial design. Okay, industrial design. Those are comes under like intellectual property. So we can write in general. Okay, but don't deviate from the important points. And you have to talk about what is pattern, what is like uh, GI, geographical indication. Those things you are supposed to explain in general, briefly. Because remember, the weightage is 10 marks only. At least, uh, like if for like if for if you are mentioning about that the 4 points, like that is more than sufficient. Identify the process of patenting. Briefly explain. Let me explain the process of patenting. When you wanted to explain the patent processing, I think it's always better to have the flow chart. Okay, let me show you the flow chart which is applicable to patent process. Okay, so first of all, if you want, you can write what is patent, general definition. Okay, meaning of patent you can write. And next, what we require is that a flow chart. It is always process of patenting. Okay, so this flow chart you can briefly explain. It will be really helpful. Okay, filling the application, then publishing, examination, grant of patent. Those things are very uh, like a precise. Okay, that you please go through that. So next time also I think can elaborate in the better fashion. You have to explain about the commercialization of patent. For example, patent owner has a decent job, university professor, and has no desire or aptitude to exploit the patent of his own. Likewise, you please prepare a brief write-up on the commercialization of patent. Okay, that point you have to remember. You can see question number 60. What are the exclusions, product and process that cannot be patent? Explain. So that's also important. So you have to non-patentable like information, non-patentable content. Those things you have to explain. I will take you the presentation. Okay. Non-patentable content. Okay. Exclusions. We'll talk about like exclusions. You have to talk about like a non-patentable matters like invention contrary to public morality, mere discovery, then frivolous invention, arrangement or rearrangement, then invention falling within the section 20. So like that you have to explain. Okay, non-patentable matters. So that's also important. Try to elaborate 1.5 pages. Okay. So in this session, what I discussed is I have discussed I have started discussing 2024 June question paper. In that I covered up to module 3. So important questions asked from module 3. Then module 4 and 5 I'm going to discuss in the part 2 session. Okay. So I'm going to conclude part 1 session officially, and in the coming session I'm going to discuss the part 2 questions. Thank you for watching this video. Happy learning. Have a great day. If you are watching our channel first time, I request you to subscribe and share. Thank you.